Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest one of all?
Snow White, fairest one of all.
What? The evil queen. Why did the evil queen care about being the fairest of them all so badly? She was literally willing to kill a child to be the prettiest. But you know, sometimes, not that I'm willing to kill, but I can relate. Scrolling through social media and seeing advertisements and seeing TV shows and movies where being pretty matters so much literally has programmed me to care and to try to change my looks and to buy so many things that I obsess over it almost as much as she does. Not that I stare into a mirror and talk to myself, but wait, I kind of do. I give myself a pep talk, but that's healthy. Obsessing over looks does not just come from one source of influence. Obviously, if you grow up with different pressure, say you have a bunch of mean girl best friends, your mom cares too much about looks, you grow up going to dance or figure skating class, and there's all sorts of body dysmorphia there. But if you have eyes to see, you probably care somewhat. And I was scrolling through shorts, and I came up upon this short of a girl who was labeled the ugliest girl in the world. Let's just roll the YouTube video.
It wasn't until I was 17 and I found the video on YouTube calling me the world's ugliest woman with my photo and knew that over 4 million people had seen it. There were thousands of comments on this video, and I just sat there and scrolled through every single one and read every single one because I was so desperate to find one person that was standing up for me, and I never found it. I had my door slightly opened, and when I looked out, my mom was like directly in my vision, and she was just sitting there watching TV, and I knew if that video crushed me as much as it did, I couldn't imagine what it would do to her.
She was looking for one kind comment, and there wasn't one. The video had millions of views, not one kind comment. But then she looked over at her mom and was thinking how those people had literally destroyed her self-esteem and confidence. But she still thought, what would it do to her mom if she found out? She is the most beautiful soul on the inside and out. She radiates beauty. I learned that obsessing over the outside doesn't make us any better on the inside. So these are 5 steps/lessons that I learned to help let go and to stop obsessing over looks, featuring Disney villains. Number 1, what I learned from the evil queen of the very first Disney princess was that we have to realize that obsessing over someone else's looks does not bring us joy, which may be obvious, but we do it. We are so quick to point out what looks good even in other people. I hang out with girlfriends, or I meet new people in New York who could be models or actresses, and the first thing I notice is of course how they look, what they're wearing, their symmetrical face, and it's good when I can admire and be like, wow, they are beautiful. But it becomes bad when I'm like, oh my gosh, they're beautiful and I'm not. Just feeling like a piece of dirt on that floor compared to you. And that's just self-comparison, but honestly, isn't that programming of self-comparison automatic in a lot of us? Not all of us. For those of you who could humbly admire other people's achievements and looks from afar and not compare yourself and just think, wow, good for them, amazing for you. I want that. I am jealous. Or is that envy? No, the difference between jealousy and envy, jealousy is that you don't want people to take what you think is yours. Envy is you want whatever they have for yourself. Okay, so I envy that. Now, it takes a lot of work to get to that point if you automatically do self-compare and obsess over what people have. But I read in my devotional in 1 Corinthians 12:12 12. Just as a body, though one has many parts, but all its many parts form one body, so it is with Christ. For we were all baptized by one Spirit so as to form one body, whether Jews or Gentiles, slave or free, and we were all given the one Spirit to drink. To me, that's like, we all have this one life, and we were born into it like so. I was not born a Jew, I was born a Gentile, and that is okay. Even so, the body is not made of one part, but many. If the whole body were an eye, where would the sense of hearing be? If the whole body were an ear, where would the sense of smell be? But in fact, God has placed the parts in the body, every one of them, just as He wanted them to be. A lot of body talk here, but I just got from that like, yes, we are all unique and different, and we all have different gifts and purposes and looks. There is this society standard, as a lot of people will say, symmetrical face, chiseled bodies, toned, but that's not everyone's type. You are someone's type, literally. Everything about you, there is no one else like you. You are rare. You are absolutely rare. All these Disney villains have that in common. They just cannot let go, appreciate exactly who they are and what they have. They want more because there is a standard that they want in their own heads. Moving on to the next Disney villain. Oh, Maleficent. Step 2 to letting go and feeling pretty and loving yourself is to spend time doing something you love every single day. Do not bum out on this. If you have a passion, work on it daily. Like a painting. You are a painting. If you want to become a singer, sing daily. Whatever you want to do and you love it, like meditate, take more naps, nurture that side every single day. Because what I learned from dear old Maleficent is that she wasted a lot of time. She felt left out because she was not invited to Sleeping Beauty's birthday party.
I really felt quite distressed at not receiving an invitation.
You weren't wanted.
Not what? Oh dear, what an awkward situation.
And feeling left out is so normal, but spiraling on the negative feelings of feeling left out is a waste of precious time that you can give to yourself. If no one else is loving you, you don't feel loved, love on yourself in that moment. But Jesus loves you. God loves you. So if you look at Him looking at you, you will love yourself so much more. He looks at you like you are the absolute ray of sunshine. So if anyone ever makes you feel left out, whether you're not invited to a princess's ball, your friend's party, a ex-best friend's wedding, someone, if anyone on this earth makes you feel left out, feel the pain and put all that energy into loving yourself. It will be easier when those moments come of feeling left out if you are already loving on yourself every single day by fulfilling your needs first. There's also a quote from Bridgerton. When one is frustrated, it is much wiser to focus on satisfying one's own needs. Attempting to influence others as to the correct course of action, well, it's often a trying and irritating endeavor that often brings out the worst in us before we discover it has been fruitless all along. Lady Danbury, Bridgerton Season 2. The third step to feeling better about yourself here is use the gifts that you have in this life to have fun. Again, one body, one life, one human life. You gotta have fun and take things not too seriously. And I learned this from Jafar in Aladdin. Jafar struggled with pride and greed.
I will be Sultan, not that addle-pated twit. And then I stop the crackers down his throat.
And pride and greed are the killers of fun. If you have the mobility to get up, dance, move around, laugh, if you have the ability to communicate, tell funny stories, have the best time. Even with yourself. I love the most awkward moments in life. I laugh so hard at myself. It's the best time. Luckily, and thank God, life has no shortage of awkward and hilarious moments if only you just see it that way. The best way to shape your mind to find things humorous is to watch comedians. A lot of them are vulgar, but there are a lot of ones that just make fun of the saddest things in life. I truly believe comedians have lived through the worst moments, but they chose to see the humor in it, and they tell the saddest stories in the funniest way that you just laugh pitifully but brutally. When I had a hard day at work, I literally came home, made my instant noodles, and watched comedy specials and laughed nonstop. Don't be a Jafar. He wanted power. He wanted to control things. He wanted success to whatever standard that measured up to in his head. He had no joy. I mean, laughing maniacally, thinking you achieved something that like can be temporary in this life, I mean, I guess counts as evil fun.
Reveal to me the one who can enter the cave.
That's not sustainable in the long term. Villains may achieve what they want and may sometimes have fun in their own evil way about those things, but it's never sustainable because all those things that villains want, beauty, money, power, they are temporary. And when people see that you have that, other greedy people will want to steal it or sabotage you for it. So it's just not a good cycle. Get out of the villain loop. We are our own worst villains. I'm so cheesy, but I love it. The fourth step is to be a conscious and minimal consumer. And I learned this from Cruella de Vil. Cruella, who killed innocent puppies for fur coats.
Oh, must be Cruella, your dearly devoted old schoolmate. Cruella de Vil.
Let her in, Nanny.
Anita, darling.
How are you?
Miserable, darling, as usual. Perfect.
You never know what purchases that we are making, like how it impacts the environment or the people who labored to make that. Whatever you own could very well be made by slaves. And that's scary, and that's affecting someone's life. Or something you own could have been ethically made by someone, but to build that dresser, it killed multiple trees. And because that dresser is in high demand, it took out the forest. We can all be Cruella de Vil. We do not know what our purchases are doing. Let's not be careless consumers. It's not demure. It's not cool. Being a conscious consumer is very attractive. You know exactly where it's coming from and you care. And that is going to make you pretty on the inside when you care. It's called compassion and empathy. Make sure if you own things that are fur or leather, that they're faux leather. Whenever I walk into a thrift store, all the girls at that thrift store love what they do, sorting through the clothes. And it would be so fun for me. I would work at a thrift store. I might just do that at some point in my life if YouTube doesn't work out anyway. And the fifth step to feeling like your best self and to feel like the most beautiful soul in the world is to genuinely love others. That is the most expensive makeup you can do, is genuinely love others. Makeup on the inside. Now, Mother Gothel from Tangled, she literally kidnapped another person's daughter, pretended to be her mother so she could use her powers to stay young and beautiful forever. That woman kidnapped for Botox. I nanny part-time, and the little girl I nanny for, she's 4 years old, and so she says, Mother Goggle, and I think it's so funny. Mother Goggle, okay, is evil.
Oh, Rapunzel, you know I hate leaving you after a fight, especially when I've done absolutely nothing wrong.
Okay, I've been thinking a lot about what you said earlier.
I hope you're not still talking about the stars.
And we can all be like her sometimes. Don't we all shop on the shelves looking for things to make us feel young and beautiful forever? Beauty and youth are fleeting, but choosing to genuinely love others well is long lasting. If you love others well, you will have friends and those relationships for life, for years. And if they walk out on you, they've probably got a little villain inside of them that they need to work through. But if you are genuinely loving them, it's shaping who you are. It shouldn't be a people-pleasing endeavor. When you love others right, it's for you, genuinely. And it's not selfish because they are getting your kindest, best self. But you're not trying to please them. You're not trying to manipulate. You are trying to genuinely love them to the best of your capability. And that is going to look different every single day. It's sacrificial. It's being patient. It's being kind. It's being super generous. Genuinely loving others means swallowing ego a lot of the time. There's no other way to teach you to be a saint than having relationship with others, because lessons will be learned, and for sure a lot of you already know that. Making sure honesty is a foundation, so I know when I'm being a villain. My sister once told me that humility isn't thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. So when your eye is focused on others instead of like, oh my gosh, how can I be like good for others, you're genuinely loving them. Do we really see the people we love? Do we see them clearly? Or are we seeing them like as a reflection and and projection of whatever is going on inside ourselves. That is a deep reflection that I have to do every moment of every day when I'm in communication with someone. It's not a lesson that ever stops, but it's something that is good makeup. That is expensive makeup. Makeup I have to work on every single day. Making time to do that will literally change your life. And when you are going through something and you are genuinely loving a lot of people, they may very well be there for you. And if not, just think about how you loved on them and love on yourself the same way. And life will be so much more beautiful. And you will be more beautiful because of it. You are already beautiful. We just gotta nurture the hero side of ourselves instead of feeding the villain obsessions. And it's hard because I feel like society is made up, especially in America, to feed those villain obsessions. When you watch the news, when you go to the grocery store and there's not too much organic produce, how many aisles are made of processed food? So many things set up for you to feed obsessions and addictions, and that's not pretty. You are a combination of your good and bad parts. Write down any thoughts that are lies on a note and speak some truth onto that. Anything that you have automatically programmed into your mind, a lot of them are probably lies. Lies from society and lies that you tell yourself for no good reason, probably because you hold impossible standards towards yourself, and that's okay. But we're going to fix that, okay? You and me together. You are not just a work in progress. You are a human being who's realizing that you are human and there are flaws, and that is okay. And that I don't have to fix them all the time. I just have to love others. And that there are good lessons from media. I learned these lessons from Disney movies. You can see the bad lessons in them, like, oh, every Disney princess looks a certain way. Or you can learn from the villains. You can watch things on Netflix that maybe make you feel scared, like serial killer documentaries like I used to, or laugh at Bridgerton and learn some quotes that actually are applicable to life. When you watch media nowadays, watch it to learn lessons, not just to entertain. And that's on that. Love y'all.
Beautiful things don't ask for attention.